Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's IFMBE CED webinar on women addressing today's health technology challenges. We have a blockbuster panel of women making a huge impact in the global health technology space joining us today. We are so excited to share this great content with you today to celebrate women in this month of March. My name is Jennifer DiFrancesco, and I'm a CED collaborator and the Associate Director of the Dayton VA. Along with Ladina Piccari from Italy, we will be moderating the event. We have 6 presenters that will be followed by a question and answer period. So make sure that you use the button in your bottom right to submit your questions for our panel at the end of the webinar. Ladina, would you like to tell the folks a little bit more about yourself?
Thank you, Jennifer, for the introduction. Welcome, everyone. I'm very happy to moderate this webinar today. My name is Ladina Piccari. I'm a biomedical engineer working for the Ministry of Health and Social Protection of Albania. I have been working 17 years in the ministry, designing laws and regulation for medical devices. I was the first head of unit for the management of medical devices in country. What we do is defining priorities, we plan, we procure, and we distribute medical devices for health facilities. As Jennifer mentioned, we have some wonderful voices today from all around the world that will share with us their experience and challenges. I have the pleasure to introduce our first presenter. She's Carla Gallegos. She has a long experience in innovation, advanced technologies, and business software. She is a co-founder of Helicom and SRX Health and advisor of Adaptive MD and DocBox. Dear Carla, the floor is yours.
Thank you for this opportunity to spend time with you today to share my 40-year clinical engineering and biomedical engineering journey into where I am today in startups in digital health. I'm really hoping that this important opportunity for clinical engineering, especially for women, is interesting for you and that you would be excited to join me on this journey. And I'd like to take you through the current environment right now that has really made startups and innovation prime globally. And so, where we start is that the pandemic has greatly accelerated innovation and the shift to alternative care delivery models. The pandemic emphasized that health tech is essential, critical to providing patient care services everywhere because of our constraints of the physical opportunity to actually be, at the clinics or the hospitals. And so the remote services have really proliferated. Right now, because of the pandemic, there's been a 16 billion increase in global health tech funding in 2020. And they really expect to break those numbers in 2021. Digital first in healthcare has become essential. And there's been a 2020 spur in growth in hybrid and virtual care models. What's very, very interesting that women's health leads in an industry that is lacking gender parity. Personalized diagnostics have begun to take hold as a standard of care, personalized medicine. That medicine includes patient monitoring and diagnostics in a very big way. At-home concierge has become a standard, and hospital at-home and remote ICU has really gained traction and is emerging very solidly right now. Remote patient monitoring is a necessity. Next. So what's interesting about everything that I just mentioned, innovation brings increasingly instrumented reality to healthcare to consider in all the new models. And instrumented healthcare is definitely somehow it's progressing too fast, but I'll just continue on. Instrumented healthcare is definitely a lot of the medical diagnostics. So as we all know, in the hospital settings, we have our core technologies and our modalities, you know, patient monitoring, imaging, lab, so forth. But now that we're expanded out, you know, pretty much care anywhere, then we have all of these biometric sensor technologies and remote devices that are proliferating, you know, into remote patient monitoring startups and silos, if you will. And the problem is making sense of all this health data because it's so valuable. And we have to really know how to collaborate, to orchestrate, to bring it all together. And actually, you know, our field is so important to bring all of the horizontal experiences and depth of knowledge that we have into this realm, because every single place that I've been involved with doesn't know about clinical engineering or biomedical engineering in the startup world, especially here in Silicon Valley. And I've spent the last 20 years really trying to educate and bring that forward. And it's starting to work here in a big way. Next. You know, about 5 or 6 years ago, when I was working at Siemens, I was really excited to find out that they were transitioning not only the digital twin, you know, diagnostic opportunities and applications in building technologies, but then they moved that over into, you know, Healthineers, Siemens Healthineers. And we started looking at optimizations in the medical center for patient flow. One of the first area was in imaging. And, you know, that was truly remarkable, big payback on return on investment, patient scores advanced, physician, clinician, you know, experience was so much better. And we saw a lot of impact on improvements. Next. So, you know, we have an opportunity for digital twin remotely as well. So right now, there are a lot of orchestration challenges and opportunities for both the patient and care providers. So, you know, Jim goes into the hospital, he's hospitalized for a few days for his chronic condition, and then he is sent home. And right now there's a blind spot because when he's at home, no one knows what's happening to him on a daily basis over a period of time until he either ends up back in the emergency room or back in the hospital in ICU. And he's depending, and his family and his care circle are depending on, you know, what's happening to him every day from a diagnostic perspective, as well as, you know, his health status. Is it declining? Is it improving? And so he's depending on, you know, all of these vitals being monitored. But how is that orchestrated? Because right now they're in silos. Who's managing it? Who's receiving the information? And once received, what do they do with it? Next. So definitely medical device and IoT orchestration is really a huge category for us as clinical engineering and biomedical experts. And the medical devices, you know, blend into the IoT is profound. So we have an opportunity to provide and concentrate on the contextual, the UX aware piece of it. So the user experience, both for the patient and for the provider. And the AI enablement has come into play in a very, very big way. So actually right now we're giving patients, caregivers, and providers an experience to drive everyone's engagement past, you know, just a once and done perspective, but really keeping engagement with the patient, monitoring the patient, and actually providing a much better outcome altogether. Next. So the big vision right now is that the provider networks, human and AI remote patient monitoring made as simple is now being made as simple as an app API to collaborate in care. And one of the companies that I have co-founded is Helium. And what Helium does is, you know, there are a few companies emerging like this, but we are providing care less than 10 minutes to any specialist anywhere in the world, in network or out of network, at an incredibly affordable cost to the patient and to the healthcare providers as well. And what's real interesting about, you know, this comes out of our technology roadmap, but all we've had to do in many cases is just do an API. And then we've been able to engage, integrate, coordinate the whole platform, pulling in all of these services that have already been built. So there are a lot of different ways to collaborate with so many vendors across the continuum. It's really exciting. Everybody is interested in this and very supportive. We have not heard one no. Everything has been, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. Yes, we want to be involved. Next. So there are a lot of innovation sandboxes out there, and I would really encourage you, if you're interested, to get involved with those sandboxes. You know, they come from platforms and networks. So all of you, I have heard of Zoom because we're using Zoom right now, but they have an amazing healthcare sandbox that if you call them up and you say, this is what I want to do, or this is what I'm doing, can we have access to your sandbox? Would you support us in this? Do you have interest? I mean, those are really, really important conversations. And I can't even tell you how incredibly receptive and responsive they are. They're so excited about the opportunity. Point-click care, I bring it up, it's in North America, the United States and Canada, but they're the largest electronic health record for long-term care and assisted living. They represent about 2,100 companies, facilities, and, you know, a really diverse and expansive aging population in both countries. But what's really nice about them, and I've been working with them for about 3 years now, they have a wonderful sandbox, and they allow you to, you know, try things out in that sandbox and really have an opportunity for that particular segment of healthcare in the older population.
Carla, 1 minute.
Yes. Okay, so I'll go a little bit faster. Another area that I would say is if you look at some of the healthcare systems, the chief digital information officers also have amazing sandbox opportunities in a number of you know, areas. So that's a place to give a try as well. And I would say that our key role opportunity is there because, you know, we connect engineering and medicine. We have vast horizontal expertise. We are very well experienced in multidisciplinary collaboration. We have a huge data science background. We know technology life cycles. We know regulatory and governmental, and there's globalization networks that really help us. Next. So I'd like to thank you. I'm here to support you if you have any interest in how do I get involved. And I would be very, very happy to show you the way and help you move forward. Thank you.
Carla, thank you so much. I think I probably speak for all of us. It's so great to have such a role model like you who's had such extensive experience in our field sharing with us. And I'm sure we're going to have some great question and answers for you.